Good to see everyone again. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope no one's had any falls since we met last. And looking forward to doing the class again today. Just a couple housekeeping items as we go through the exercises. Make sure that you have something sturdy to hold on to. Ideally a chair without wheels is the best thing to hold on to, or a desk or a table. I will instruct people in ways to make the exercise harder or easier. So some people may be able to do some of the things without holding, but others may be more comfortable having something to hold on to. We want to make sure that everybody is safe while they're enjoying the exercise class. And just like we have done in the past, we're going to start with a little bit of a warm-up. Flexibility is a key component to preventing falls. So we will do a little bit of warm-up that focuses on flexibility and posture. We'll do some marching activities to help get our heart rate up. And then I think today, to mix it up, rather than doing all the balance exercises in one chunk and then all the strengthening exercises in one chunk, I think I'm going to mix it up a little bit today. So we'll do a strength exercise, then we'll do a balance exercise, and we'll kind of flip back and forth, which may be a little bit easier on the strengthening component. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with our warm-up. And we're going to start in sitting, and we're going to start with rolling our shoulders backwards. And you want to make sure that you have nice, tall, upright posture, focusing on the back and down part of the roll. Good. We'll do about 10 more of these. Or you can see my side view here. Okay, now the next one, we have done this one before. This is called a chin tuck, and it's a way to get our head in alignment with our bodies. Because as we age, because our head is heavy, a lot of us have what we call forward head posture. Our head drops forward in front of our body, and the head weighs about 15 pounds. So imagine if you have something that's sitting in front of your center of gravity that weighs about 15 pounds. It's going to make you more likely to lose your balance forward. So focusing on that nice upright posture where your head is in line with your body can be a good preventative. So all we're doing for this one is we're bringing our head back and then relax. Bringing our chin straight back like we're making a double chin, and relax. And 3. Good. And you'll feel some stretching in those neck muscles. 4. The key is not to look up or down with this exercise. Just bring the chin straight back. 5. 6. 7. Some people call this one the turtle. 8. 9. Good. One more. And 10. Good. All right. Let's reach one hand up to the ceiling. Really give it that extra stretch as if you're trying to get your arm as long as you can. Good. 2. 3. 4. Now, if you have shoulder pain with this one, don't force it. Good. 2 more. Big stretch to the ceiling. And last one. Good. Okay. And let's do one more with the arms. This one, we're just bringing the arms out and back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together when you're back here. 3, 4. Try to do this not leaning back in your chair. You want to have nice upright posture. 5. You can take a nice deep breath while you're bringing your arms out. And 10. Good. Okay. And now that we've done some nice stuff with our necks and our shoulders, we're going to do a little warm up with our ankles. I've mentioned this before, that ankle flexibility is a key component to fall prevention. So we're going to start, the first one we're going to do, let me make sure I get my ankles in the frame here. We're going to just pump our ankles up and down. 5, really pull those toes up. Good. And now we're going to do what I call windshield wipers. So your heels stay on the ground and you're moving your feet side to side. 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then the last ankle one, I like doing this one with my leg crossed because it keeps my legs stable, but you can hold your leg just out front. You're going to make a circle with your ankles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, if your circle doesn't look beautifully circular, if it looks a little bit more up and down, don't worry. You're still getting the benefit of the exercise. 2, we're going the other direction now. 4, 5, 7. And with any of the exercises that we do today, if you have pain, then please stop. Don't try to push through it. Good. And 10 the other direction. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, perfect. And this is one, I've made this plug for this exercise before. It's a great exercise to just build into your daily routine. It's easy to do if you're watching TV or if you're on the bus or the metro, or like now if you're waiting for the metro. Easy to have some free time. Get those ankles moving. If you can get even a little bit more flexibility. I have a patient in the clinic right now. We just gained a little flexibility in her ankles and her balance is significantly better. All right, I'm going to set my timer so that I have an idea of how long we're doing our standing warm up. This, I'd like people to do this standing. Unless you don't feel comfortable doing it standing, then by all means do it seated. But we're going to do some different variations of marching to kind of get our heart rate up. Okay, so let's start with just a regular march in place. We're going to do this one for about a minute. Good, we're at 20 seconds. Keep marching, pumping your arms if you can. Make Again, this is fine to do it seating if you're more comfortable doing it seating. The idea is to get you to get that heart rate up. So really put some effort into it. Okay, that was a minute. Now we're going to take some steps forward and do a punch, and do some steps backward. Forward, punch, backward. Forward, punch, backward. Forward, punch, and back. Forward, punch. Punch it like you mean it. Forward, punch, back. Forward, punch and back. We got 15 more seconds of this one. Forward, punch and back. Forward, punch and back. And one more time, forward, punch. Good. All right, I'd like to do one more minute of moving. This time, let's step sideways, clap, sideways, clap, sideways, clap, sideways. If you're watching this on the video at a later date, feel free to add some music. Sideways. Clap. Sideways. Good. Sideways. Clap. One more time and clap. Good. That was 3 minutes of moving. Very good. And everybody take a break a minute, have a sip of water, which will give me the opportunity to plug the importance of adequate fluid intake when we're talking about fall prevention. And I would say that there's probably a majority of patients that come into the clinic to see us if they've had problems with balance and falls. Usually we can identify one factor as people being a little bit dehydrated. So what happens when they stand up too quickly, they get a little bit lightheaded. If you're having any of those symptoms where you notice if you've been lying down or sitting and you get up quickly and the room just feels a little woozy, probably a sign that you could stand to drink a little bit more fluids. We also know from the research that our inner ear system that's responsible for balance functions better if we're well hydrated. So what we do in the clinic, we always have our water bottles on our desk. We fill it at the start of the workday. We make sure it's empty at the end of the workday. And that's a good strategy to do in your house as well. All right, let's go on to some of our strengthening exercises. And we're going to start with our repeated sit to stand. And this one, if you have a lot of pain in your knees and doing that up and down motion is just too painful, feel free to substitute one where you just kick your leg out. That's a good substitution because it works the same muscle. So ready, here we go. 10 times. Up and slowly sit. And 2, the key is slowly sitting, don't plop. And 3, and sit. And 4. Good. And 5. And you notice I'm not using my hands. If you can do this no hands, that's great. If you need to push up a little bit with your hands, that's okay too. 7. Good. 8. 9. And 10. Good. And when you're watching the video and you're doing this one again on your own, you can try it on a surface that's a little higher. If it's too hard to do it on a regular chair, try it maybe from your bed, or try adding an extra cushion to the chair. Just raising something as little as an inch can make this exercise a little easier or a little less painful on the knees. All right, now I'm going to just raise my table up here so that it's kind of like what you're using, either the back of a chair or your walker or a table. And like I said, we're going to alternate strength and balance today. So this first one that I'd like to do is I'd like you to put your feet together, and we're just going to stand for 30 seconds with our feet together. If that feels really easy and you want to challenge yourself and close your eyes, feel free to do that. Just make sure you got something nearby, or if you start to feel unsteady, open your eyes back up. So we're just standing with our feet touching. And I'm keeping an eye on the clock. Good. That was 30 seconds on that one. Now, the next one that's a little bit harder is what we call a semi-tandem stance. So our feet are like, one foot is a little bit forward, but not all the way forward. So a little bit forward, and you pick which foot you put forward. That doesn't matter. And again, we're holding that for 30 seconds. And if you need to hold on with one hand or two hands while you're doing this, that's fine. Keeping an eye on the clock, about 15 more seconds of this one. Good. And now for the last one. Now, if you had trouble with that one we just did, try that again. And again, hold on if you need to. If you found that you could do that pretty easily, then for the last one, you're going to put one foot all the way in front of the other. And again, we're trying to hold that for about 30 seconds. And you'll feel your ankles wobbling a little bit. That's okay. It means our brains are working to keep us balanced. Good. Okay, let's kind of shake it out a minute. And I'd like to do that one more time. Now, again, the easiest was just standing with our feet together. So if that was challenging for you, do that one again. Or if you want to do what we call the semi-tandem, or if you want to try the other foot forward, you can do that. Or if you want to go advanced route, again, one foot in front of the other. And again, we're holding that for about 30 seconds. Good. And this last one is not easy. This, I mean, I feel myself a little wobbly on this one. Okay, nice job, everybody. Very good. And let's keep up standing while we're up. And we'll do our next strengthening exercise, which is the one where we raise up onto our toes. So as I've pointed out with this one before, you can certainly do both feet at the same time. If you feel that's pretty easy, you can do one foot at a time. So I'm going to demonstrate with one foot for the first 10. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now either do the other leg, or if you've been doing 2 legs, I'll demonstrate this one with 2 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. Now we're gonna, and hold on for this one, we're gonna stand and you're gonna rock back on your heels, lifting your toes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Now we'll go back to our heel raises. So either one leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you can certainly do these seated as well. And I'm going to switch to the other leg. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. And then we're going to do another set of 10 where we lift our toes. And this is strengthening those muscles on the front of our shins that help clear our toes. You know, we all know about those uneven sidewalks around here. We want to make sure that we have good toe clearance so that we minimize our risk for having a trip. Okay, excellent. Very good. All right, everybody take a break for a second. And then the next balance one I want to do, we did our tandem stance and our symmetrical stance, but now we're going to try to stand on one leg. And again, if you need to hold on, that's fine. Or if you can do it no hands. If you try no hands and you immediately go back, that's okay. Just try again. Just pick the foot up, do it as long as you can. Good. I'm kind of doing about a count of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is also such an easy thing to sneak in if you're waiting for the elevator in your building, waiting for the metro. You know, we spend a lot of time waiting. You could even do like a little ankle circle with the one foot while you're standing on the other foot, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Good. And whoops, I lost my balance a little bit there. Good. Okay, and everybody take a break. So you may have seen it was easier for me to stand on one leg and do the fancy circles with the other leg than when I switched. And just like we're right-handed or left-handed, we all have one leg that's more of our dominant stance leg. So everybody's balance is a little bit better on one leg than the other. And in my case, it's definitely my right leg. I've noticed that when I'm teaching these exercises. Okay, hope everyone is doing good. Let's do our next strengthening exercise. If you have bands and you want to put a band around your knees or around your ankles, we're going to use the bands for the next two. Certainly you don't have to do this one with bands. We're going to start with the one where we swing our leg out to the side, which is this one. If you're not comfortable doing it standing, you can just in sitting, bring your legs out and in. You could resist that with your hands, or you could use the band around your knees. But I think most people in this class will do this standing. So hold on with one hand or two hands, or if you feel really comfortable and you want to try this no hands, that's okay too. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And make sure when you're doing this one, I'm going to show you from the side, your body should be nice and straight. You should not be standing, leaning forward while you're doing that, because it doesn't allow the muscle to really work the way it's supposed to. So we're going to do the other leg now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. Very good. And you'll feel the leg that you're standing on working just as much as the leg that you're swinging. We're going to do 10 again with our left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. And let's do 10 again with the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. All right. Definitely feel those muscles working in the side of the leg with that one. And while we're up, we'll go ahead and do another balance exercise. And this is the one where I'm going to have you do a twist with your upper body. And make sure when you're twisting that your head is turning with the twist. I'll try to have my head and body in the screen here, because it's actually the motion of the head that's giving us the benefit of the exercise. So we're standing with our feet apart. We're bringing our arms out. Again, if you need to hold with one arm, just swing with the other arm. And we're twisting and turning our head. Good. And we'll just go to one side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can do this in sitting as well. 8, 9, 10. Now, if you feel like the room is spinning or you get dizzy with this, then absolutely stop. And that would be something to mention to your physician, that if you notice when I'm turning my head, the room starts to spin, that's an indicator that there's something not quite right with the inner ear balance system. We're going to go 10 times the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good, very good. We'll shake it out a minute, and then we'll move on to our next strengthening. So if you took your band off to do the twist one, go ahead and get your band back on for the next one, because the next one is the one where we swing our leg to the back. So it's this one, and you can put a band around your ankles if you want a little bit more resistance for this. So here we go, 10 times with one leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. And 10 times with the other. And make sure that your body is not rocking forward on this one, that you keep your body up nice and straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. Good. And we're going to do 10 again with the left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 10 again with the other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. Very good. All right, we'll rest for just a minute before going into our next balance exercise. I had a patient come into the clinic last week for balance training, and he pulled out a nice brochure that was put out by Harvard for seniors, for exercises to do as a way to reduce falls. And I was thrilled to see that all the exercises in there were ones that we do regularly and that are part of this class as well. So always good to know when you're doing it correctly based on Harvard standards. All right, so now we're going to do the clock activity. I think if you've come into the classes, you'll know this one. This is the one where you're standing like you're on a clock face, and you can certainly hold on to your walker or chair if you need to do this. And I'm going to call out different numbers. So imagine you're standing on the center of a clock. So if I say 12, get my feet in here a little bit better. You're going to step forward, touch 12, come back. If I say 3, you're going to step out and come back. 6 would be back here. 9 is with the other leg, or 10, or 11. And you can decide how big your clock is. If you're not that steady, make your clock kind of a little clock. But if you feel like, my balance, I can really challenge and I can make my clock really quite large, that's perfectly fine too. Just make sure everybody can see me here. All right, so we're going to do this for maybe 2 minutes, and I'm going to call out different numbers. So let's start with 1 o'clock, and 3, and 5, 9, and 1, 11, and 4, and 6. For 6 and 12, you can use whichever foot you prefer. Let's do 9, and 2, and 5, and 7, and 11, and 4, and 8, and 3, and 6, and 7, and 11, and 1. Almost done. 3, and 9, and 5, and 7. Okay, nice job, everyone. Now, you may have noticed when you're doing that it's a little easier to take a big step forward or to the side, and not quite so comfortable taking that bigger step to the back. That's normal. We see that with everyone that comes in, but that's probably where we could use the practice the most. So if you wanted to just on your own, just practice, even just stepping back and forward, stepping back and forward, getting used to the body being able to keep balance that way. Okay, let's do another strength exercise. And this one, we're gonna stand back up. And this is our high march. So you may need to hold on to that chair or your walker. And I want you to lift your knees nice and high, like as high as your table or your desk. And nice and slow. And if you can do that, no hands. You see how slow I'm going with this one. The slower you go, the harder it is to balance, the more the muscles have to work. Good. That was 10. Shake it out a minute, and then we'll do another set of 10 of those. All right, nice, slow, high march. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Everybody's doing terrific. I can't see everybody's screen, but the ones that I can see at the top, everyone's doing a really nice job. Very good. I want to do a couple different sort of walking / balance exercises. Some of these might be new. Some of them I think we may have done in previous classes. So let's start with walking forward. So you're gonna have to just find a little spot in the room. You're gonna take a couple of steps on your heels, and then you're gonna walk backwards just regularly. And forward, walking on your heels, and backwards just regularly. Now, if that doesn't feel too comfortable, you can use your walker for that, or if you're more comfortable just standing and tapping your heel like that while you're holding on, that's fine. But I know a lot of you in this class like the challenge. And then regular backward walking. Forward on the heels. Good, and regular backward. Let's do that 4 more times. Good. And back. And forward. Back. Last one. And back. All right, now we're going to do a side step, and we're going to start just walking sideways. And again, if you're not comfortable doing this without holding on, you can certainly just stand and take a step sideways. That's okay too. And if you're, if you want to really make it hard, make your steps really big. Good. And then the next one we're going to do is we're going to cross one leg over the other. Now, again, you can do this just in standing while you're holding on, just crossing and back, or you can actually walk, crossing one over. And when you go the other direction, the other one crosses over. Cross. And cross. And this is where having that flexibility in your ankles really comes into play. This gets much harder if our ankles don't move and adjust. Good. And then let's try one in front and then the next behind. Good. So I'm going in front and then behind. We call this one the grapevine. In front and behind. Good. And again. Good. One more time. Okay. Good. I want to do that repeated sit to stand one more time, 10 repetitions. I've mentioned this one before. It's my favorite one. Really works those big muscles in the front of our thighs and in the buttocks that are so important for balance. So again, stand up and slowly sit. Good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, And if you notice that you have difficulty getting up from a chair without using your arms, maybe one thing that's missing is you're leaning forward when you get up. Or if you notice when you go to sit and you're not using your arms, that you almost plop at the end. Again, maybe what's missing is the leaning forward. So therapists like to say nose over toes. You lean forward, you stand up, you lean forward as you sit down. Nose over toes as you get up, nose over toes as you sit down. That's a little trick that we see lots of clients and they really struggle getting up from a low surface. When we teach people how to do that nose over toes, oftentimes that alone makes the difference. I've got 2 more exercises left. Hope everyone's doing okay. Everybody, this has been a nice nonstop workout today. So we're going to do the one that's our warrior pose. And this is the one where we just stand out and we're turning to look at the side. I'm going to get myself in the frame a little bit better here. So our warrior pose, hold it. And come on back to the same side. Again, warrior pose. And if you need to hold on with one hand to the walker or to the counter or chair, that's fine. 3. 4. 5. And to the other side. And back. 1. 2. 3. 4. Last one. And then for our last one, we're going to again do a little walking exercise. And this can be your choice. If you just want to do a little marching back and forth, that's fine. If you want to challenge and go 1 foot in front of the other, like you're on a balance beam, that's perfectly fine. Or if you wanted to make a figure 8, so you're walking around like you're making a figure 8. So I'm going to do that for about a minute, and I'm going to kind of do all 3, but you decide which one you want to do. So I'm going to start with my figure 8. Good. I'm going to make my 8 the other direction. Now I'm going to walk forward as if I'm on a balance beam. And I don't think I can do that backwards, so I'm just going to go back regular. And I'm going to try my balance beam again. Good. And I'm going to go backward. And again, feel free to repeat the 8s or the balance beam, but I'm just going to finish it out by doing a little march forward and back. Good, good, good. Okay, excellent. It's nice for me to see that compared to like the very first 2 times that I did this class before the pandemic, when I was still coming over to the church, we've actually been able to make it quite a bit harder. We're doing more difficult exercises, and it seems like people are able to do those. So that's really nice to see. So that's all I had today. I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody has questions.
I think I saw a raised hand from Margaret there. If you unmute yourself. I think you're still muted there, Margaret. There you go.
Now I've got it. Okay, so this is my first time in the class, and I could
Welcome.
not. Thank you. I couldn't see what you're doing with your feet in the warrior. So could you just show me what you were doing with your feet in the warrior?
Oh, in the warrior? Sure. Okay, let me see if I can get my feet in there a little bit better. Really, that's just a step to the side. You're kind of stepping and pointing your toe out. That's the warrior pose. So you're starting with your foot together and then you're turning your foot out.
Thank you.
Roseanne, I saw you're unmuted. Do you have a question?
Yes, I'm unmuted. I wanted to thank you for your fall classes. I had a friend who just had a fall not long ago, who is in disastrous shape and may not make it. So I can't emphasize enough to everybody how important this is.
Yes, and I want to encourage everyone to go through the playlist on YouTube too, to go through the classes. That's why they're all posted there for you to use whenever you have, half hour, 45 minutes to spare and you want to do a couple exercises.
I'm so sick of virtual. I miss you in person.
Yeah, hopefully next year we'll be able to resume some in-person classes.
We don't have our classes that we had as part of the village 3 times a week with GW.
Right.
So hard to have nothing.
Anyone else have any questions? Burke, I saw you're unmuted. Do you have a question?
It isn't really a question, but to report, I had a close call fall and managed to save because we had a flood. We had a flood from the unit above me. And in the entryway, which is marble, which would never normally have water, I came out barefoot and hit a wet marble entryway, moving fast barefoot and slid, but I managed to grab the wardrobe door and not fall.
I'm so glad to hear that.
And since I've had 3 hip operations, a fall could have been pretty serious.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of these exercises, things can still happen to us, right? Accidents, trips, or slips. But if we do these exercises, we're in a better position to be able to take that step or to move our bodies in such a way to prevent the fall. So I'm really glad to hear that you had those skills that kept you from falling.
Actually, one exercise that's on a DVD I have that I think is very useful. I do it standing in a door frame, so I can't really fall. And leaning forward until I'm just about to fall, and then catching yourself with your foot and stepping forward as far as you can. Now you're in a door frame, so you can't really fall or hit a wall. But I find that you just lean as far as you can and then catch yourself with
catching
yourself with your foot.
Oh, I like that one. I think that one may have to make an appearance.
But you need to have support. You can't do it with big open. You have to have a thing where you can't really fall for it. You just hit a wall or something.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you. We have like 2 minutes before Dr. Janson has to get back to her patients. Does anyone have any last questions or comments or anything like that? I do hope to see everyone at our class next month. Our final class, I believe, is December 8th. I will send out an email with the link to watch this class and past class on YouTube, as well as to register for the next class. But I hope to see everyone there next month.
Good to see everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you all for coming.
Bye-bye.